DJ Scream, heavy in the streets.
We gon' get it, we gon' get it, we gon' get it. We gon' get it, we gon' get it. Get it in blood. Get it in blood. We gon' get it, we gon' get it, we gon' get it. We gon' get it, we gon' get it. Get it in blood. Get it in blood.
Hood rich.
Get it out the mud.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Saints and Appetizers podcast. And we are back. But first, I have to tell you, I warned you. I warned you out there. I warned all you guys. Like the beard was coming off. It was getting too hot. So if you're astonished or horrified by the scenes and the pictures and the videos that you're seeing, I warned you. But now it's all gone. We got a fresh, clean face here, shaved just like 2 days ago, and now the 5 o'clock shadow is already coming in. But no, it feels good. It feels good. The initial shave, that you get like that cool breeze on your face if you've ever experienced having like a long beard and then it coming off. But the thing I've noticed the most and kind of enjoyed the most since it's coming off is I actually noticed that I have long hair now. Before, I guess anytime my hair or my locks or anything would kind of go over my beard, or maybe it was even getting held back because of the beard being so wide, just never really realize or feel that your hair shaking, hair shaking in the wind. But I warned you guys, it's gone. It maybe until the start of next season before it starts coming back in, but it's gone for now. But hey, at least I actually look like my YouTube profile picture and my Twitter picture. So I fit the part of those. You have a lot of people seeing pictures of me like that, and then they tune into a video and they're just probably like, who is that? But I think I can do both. I can do a beard and I can do clean shaven, because I think I have a pronounced enough jawline that once it comes off, I don't scare people because I look like this with no jaw, and it's almost necessary to have a beard. But it's off for now because it's hot and my face is done sweating, at least for the rest of the summer. Well, I imagine it'll still sweat, but at least it won't be incubated by a big old beard. But anyway, so that's enough of that. That's enough of my face. Enough of the beard that's no more non-existent now. But anyways, let's actually get into the appetizer that we're here for, and that is UFC 316, Dvalishvili versus O'Malley 2. And this happened June 7th, 2025. So just this past Saturday at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey, United States. And the attendance was 17,343 and 6.5 million at the gate. So they did all right. The numbers for the gate and the total income for it, they did just fine. But honestly, this card, it kind of played out exactly how I imagine most people probably expected it to, and it played out almost exactly like my predictions did. A little bit different. A little bit of tweaking here and there with methods, but still finishes and matches that I thought were going to happen. Just a little tweak in the method on two of those fights on the main card, but for the most part, it's this may be the best card I predicted all year. But before we delve too deep into the main card, just want to mention the heavyweight bout that was kind of that I highlighted for the prelims in this card. You had Wandel Cortez Acosta versus Sergey Spivak. We didn't end up getting to see heads roll in that one. Didn't get to see anyone get knocked out or anything like that. But still, it was still a competitive fight that there wasn't. I don't believe there was a fight of the night on this card. So just it could have just been as good as any card fight on this card to be fight of the night. So for any of the fights that went to a decision. So we mentioned that, and then we mentioned Bruno Silva and Joshua Vaughn being the main event of the preliminary card. And hey, Joshua Vaughn, I would think that that was an upset. May have been the underdog coming in that and gets a TKO and punches on Bruno Silva at the 401 mark of the third round. But we got a little bit more to get into the prelims when we get back around to the performances of the night, the $50,000 bonuses. But I want to go ahead and get into the main card here. So this is UFC 316, Merab Dvalishvili versus Sean O'Malley. So let's get into this. Let's get into the first fight on the card. So can I get a menu? And so the first fight on the card, definitely a great curtain jerker for this event, and definitely a great curtain jerker. Even though we've had a lot of opening fights on the main cards and some of these pay-per-views the last couple months or so, where you got a good curtain jerker, the good first fight on the main card, pay-per-view is good, and then the rest of the card is just trash. Well, I don't think we really got that on this card. Like I said, this card kind of turned out probably exactly how everyone expected and kind of how they wanted. I know there wasn't a fight of the night on this card, so you could maybe say that the main card, none of the fights on the main card were really that competitive. Like there was clear winners in all those fights, not just because they got the stoppage, but even in the decisions. The two decisions on the main card, they weren't even close. You know, like you knew that Mario Batista or Joey Pfeiffer were clear cuts winning the whole fight. But for the first fight on the card, you have a welterweight bout between Kevin Holland versus Vincent Lequi, which ended up ending by submission at the 103 mark. Yeah, the 103 mark of the second round. So I predicted this. I was predicting maybe Kevin Holland to actually win this, but I was more predicting it would have been a stoppage, but I was thinking like a knockout, TKO, KO, somewhere in like maybe the second or third round. But no, he pulled out a stop nonetheless. But he pulled out a stop with a submission Barbaro choke. So that was really impressive. How majority of the fight, it's definitely like the first round was just mostly striking, and then Vincent Lequi looked like he landed a couple good shots on Kevin Holland, but what Kevin Holland's was landing was better. Like there was a little bit more sting to his shots, and that started coming on there kind of towards the end with the combinations and stuff that he was landing on Vincent Lequi. And the wild thing is that he was talking motor mouthing like the entire time. He was saying after the fight that he felt like Muhammad Ali, you know, watching old Muhammad Ali videos and movies about him. So he just had that chatterbox going the entire time. And then you get into the second round, and it's kind of pretty much a lot more of the same. But you get down to that 103 mark of the second round, Kevin Holland just grabbed a hold of like Vincent Lequi's leg, which caused him to trip. And as he's getting up, he left his neck out there for that Barbaro choke, and like a pit bull, Kevin Holland just jumped on that, and didn't take too much longer before Vincent Lequi went ahead and tapped out on that. So that was impressive. So besides the method, we got the pick right, and we got the fact that it ended up getting that Kevin Holland ended up getting the stoppage, just not the stoppage I predicted. So starting out pretty good and starting out with an exciting fight on the curtain jerker in the first fight on the UFC 316 card. All right, so now then on to the second fight on the card. We have a bantamweight bout between Mario Batista versus like the highly anticipated Patchy Mix, who ended up losing this fight by decision ended up being unanimous decision. The so all 3 rounds, 15-minute fight, three 5-minute rounds, went unanimous decision, and the decision had it. The judges had it 29-28, and then 30-27, 30-27, which I mean, I guess I could see where the first judge had it 29-28. I could see where maybe Patchy Mix uh, kind of maybe won the one one won the third round, the last round, but it felt kind of like he was just kind of stat padding, and Mario Batista was just trying to get out of there safe without getting knocked out or anything. He was just playing the safe game, and playing like, oh, I got the first 2 rounds in the bag, so I'm just going to be safe. But yeah, Patchy Mix came up very disappointing in this fight for another fighter coming over from another promotion, and this was Bellator. This felt just like almost like identical to what happened to Patricio Pitbull just a couple pay-per-views back, where it just seemed like he just was starstruck, blinded by the lights the first 2 rounds, and then he kind of opened up a little bit and started landing a little bit of stuff in the third round. But I mean, by then it was too late. But Patchy Mix, he was coming into this fight uh, to be known as like a great ground fighter, a great grappler and submission artist. But heck, he only went for like one takedown once in this fight. Like it was just like a half-hearted takedown on Mario Batista in the first round, and then he just really never tried anymore. And then when he was striking with Mario Batista, he looked like a statue, just standing in front of him, had his hands up, but no body movement, no leg movement, no head movement, just standing there and taking it. Like if Mario Batista was more known as like a knockout artist and heavy-handed, good Lord, I don't know how Patchy Mix wouldn't have gotten knocked out. But like I was saying, he was like that through the first 2 rounds, and then in the third round, you started seeing a little bit of head movement and kind of pressing action because I feel as if he probably knew he was behind, but by then it was too late. But we predicted this. I predicted this. I predicted Mario Batista to win this by decision because I didn't think Mario Batista was going to submit Patchy Mix, and then Mario Batista's kind of like Patchy Mix. He's got a probably a better ground game and submission game, but he's obviously a better striker than Patchy Mix. So I thought that this could easily go just like it did with Patricio Pitbull, because I mean Patchy Mix is set on a 7-fight winning streak, but that's over in Bellator, and then Mario Batista is on a 7-fight winning streak, but that's in the UFC. So I mean, there's just levels to this. It was just a big step up and competition for Patchy Mix. Maybe give him someone that's maybe outside the top 10 rankings in bantamweight, and maybe since that third round, maybe he's got his feet underneath him, just like Patricio Pitbull. Yeah, they had some disappointing debuts, but I still like to see them again, at least one more time. If they're going to fail, I'd like to see it at least one more time, and it would be nice to maybe see it in brutal fashion, possibly literally knock them out of the UFC would be kind of nice. But I would like to see what they were brought here to do, but haven't got to see that over the last 2 months or so, including Patchy Mix and Patricio Pitbull. But anyway, so we're on a 2-fight winning streak. Even got one of the methods right. So this card was going great, or is going great. So now on to the third fight on the card. We have a middleweight bout between Joe Pfeiffer versus Kelvin Gastelum. And Joe Pfeiffer was coming into this bout on, I think, on a pretty good winning streak with maybe just one loss and a pretty no, I guess not. I think I got, yeah, Joe Pfeiffer and Kelvin Gastelum kind of had recent success in some of their fights. I think, winning a couple. I guess he was on a five fight winning streak before he ran into Jack Mason February 10th, 2024, and then he was just on the one fight winning streak over Mark Andre Barriault, where he knocked him out. But he was known for in that original 5 fight winning streak. He had four of those were knockouts, and then he even finished the last one with a technical submission. So he was kind of on a bit of a heater with getting finishes and knocking people out. And I think, what is it? Yeah, all but 2 of his 14 wins have come by knockout. So I think I was maybe disregarding that a little bit, or didn't take it into consideration when picking this fight. Maybe is also because Kelvin Gastelum's like never been knocked out, so I was taking his granite chin into consideration as well. Which, I mean, it didn't end up playing out like that. But just with the original pick, I think if I'd have gone back and maybe read in a little bit more about Joe Pfeiffer, maybe I would have picked him to win by knockout or TKO, which he very closely did in the first and second round. Like Kevin Gastelum was just like a Terminator after taking some of those shots. But I think it ended up my lack of, I guess, studying on Joe Pfeiffer ended up being correct. Ended up helping me, because I ended up picking Joe Pfeiffer to win this fight by a decision, that's the 3 5-minute rounds, a 15-minute fight. So we got this one right, the pick and the method, and it was decision unanimous, and it was 29-28, 29-20, no, yeah, 29-28, and then 29-27 and 30-27. So that 29-27 one must have given Kelvin Gastelum the third round, but judged it a 10-8 in the first round. So in the first round, Joey Pfeiffer should have, I don't know, like I said, he's got a granite chin. He's like a Terminator, just kept getting up. But man, he got dropped early on. Kelvin Gastelum got dropped by a punch early on in that fight. And then towards the middle of the fight, he got kicked with a head kick that was as clean and as beautiful as a head kick that you'd ever see, with the shin just landing right on Kelvin Gastelum's temple, and he just ate it and just kept coming. And then later in mid part of that same round, the first round, he got dropped again. So he got dropped 2 times and just absolutely ate like such a flush head kick in the first round. So that, I understand. I'm actually surprised none of these other judges judged it a 10-8. Like, I'm surprised you're not having a 30-26 or another 29-27 here, because Kelvin Gastelum, he got dropped again in the second round due to a punch, and then after all that, really after the first knockdown that Joe Pfeiffer got on Kelvin Gastelum, it kind of felt as if all he was doing was hunting for that one punch knockout. So it kind of got, but the amount of damages and the drops and the significance behind those, just like those 4 strikes, the 3 punches that knocked him down in the head kick, like that there was enough to win him this fight, because Kelvin Gastelum, kind of just like Patchy Mix, didn't really start to come on until the third round, which I guess some of the judges had him winning that third round. But I think Joe Pfeiffer, he was just kind of playing the safe game, kind of knew that he had the first 2 rounds in the bag, and was kind of doing what Mario Batista was doing. Just if he had the opportunity to land one hard shot, he'd do it. But besides that, he was done with any type of combinations or getting in any type of war with Kelvin Gastelum towards the end of that fight. But we got that one. We got that one. So that's two in a row there, where we got the pick and the method correct. So, and just on picks alone, we're 3-0 on this card. So this card's going great for viewing value for me, just off of the success that we're going to get for the podcast picks and the show. This was a very enjoyable card. But like I said, with these fights, there weren't really any close fights on the main card. Like it was pretty much dominant all the way to either the decision or the finish, the submission, which there were three of them on this card. Let's see. All right. So now then, on to the co-main event, the women's bantamweight championship bout between Juliana Pena, the former champion, versus Kayla Harrison, the current champion, but the challenger at the time. And this fight ended up ending at the 4:55 mark of the second round due submission by Kimura. And both of these fights, the Kayla Harrison, Julia Pena, and then the Merab Dvalishvili versus Sean O'Malley fight were a little surprising to me, just in regards to how good Kayla Harrison and Merab Dvalishvili looked in the striking game initially. Both of them didn't go immediately for a takedown and held their own in the striking game against should be potentially should be better strikers than them, especially Sean O'Malley over Merab Dvalishvili. We heard that Merab Dvalishvili was maybe talking about standing and not going for a takedown at all, but we know obviously with those submissions that they got, that ended up not coming to fruition. But yeah, Kayla Harrison just absolutely dominated Julia Pena, just suffocated her. Got some decent back and forth with her in just the stand up, and then ended up getting towards the end of those rounds or mid part of the first round, just taking her down and smothering her and just laying on her, laying a little bit of ground and pound and just kind of softening her up, but just dominating her, letting Julia Pena know that Kayla Harrison is her mommy basically, and she did continue doing that early on in early on in the second round, and did it pretty much throughout the whole round. Almost was a horn a round saved her. Julia Pena almost got saved by the horn, because she towards the end of the second round she was getting like smothered, and it looked like Kayla Harrison was kind of working to a head and arm triangle, and then it was just her just put like leaning her shoulder like into like her chin and her neck and stuff. And finally was as it looked like Julia Pena was kind of trying to wiggle out and almost kind of getting back up. Kayla Harrison jumped on that arm, and like the second it was like even looked like it was about to be a Kimura, Julia Pena was tapping out, because her strength compared to Kayla Harrison's strength, like just like one more second, one more tick on that fight clock, like her arm would have been broken, or her shoulder would have been like dislocated due to that Kimura. So that was just an impressive victory by Kayla Harrison over Julia Pena at the 4:55 mark of the second round. And we predicted this fight. We predicted Kayla Harrison to win this, and we were expecting it to be a submission, and we expected her to either jump on a neck or jump on an arm, and just like what Vincent Lequi did in the first fight, just kind of in a scramble to get back up, and just left their arm or left your neck out there, and before you know it, you're either getting your arm broken or you're needing a tap before you get put to sleep in these submissions on this card. So that was really impressive by Kayla Harrison, and now that should set up a title bout, a real unification, undisputed women's bantamweight title bout between Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. So that we've been talking about some of these cards are like super lackluster, or their lack of superstar power. Whatever pay-per-view card that is, you won't have to worry about that. You could maybe just have that one fight as the main card, and with how some of these cards have been lately, that might just be good enough. All right, so that's the co-main event. Now it's on to the main event, the bantamweight championship bout, the men's bantamweight championship bout between Merab Dvalishvili, the champion, versus Sean O'Malley, the challenger. And this fight, I mean, I didn't really think that Merab Dvalishvili could be any more dominant than what he looked like in the first fight between him and Sean O'Malley. But he did, and I really kind of wasn't expecting it to be quite as dominant. I maybe thought maybe Sean O'Malley maybe look a little bit better, but I mean, I guess Merab Dvalishvili must have took it to heart that some people were starting to say that that first fight between Sean O'Malley and him were a lot closer, and maybe just one more significant punch landed here or there in the first round would have been enough to actually win Sean O'Malley the fight and retain the belt. So Merab Dvalishvili was obviously coming into this very focused, but I thought Sean O'Malley was going to look better. I didn't think he was going to win. I thought he was going to end up losing by submission, or not by submission, but by decision again, just because he did a good job of getting up and defending submissions and defending takedowns in the first fight. But you know, I kind of contradict myself a little bit because I took Sean O'Malley a little bit serious when it came to like being more serious. Like he's a dad, he stopped smoking weed, he's not dyeing his hair, he's off of social media. Like I thought that would be like a positive for Sean O'Malley, but apparently it wasn't. And Sean O'Malley got his opportunity to strike with Merab Dvalishvili. Merab Dvalishvili said he wasn't gonna try for any takedowns in this fight, and in the first round, almost the entire first round, he stood with Sean O'Malley, and Sean O'Malley landed a few things, but it seemed like once he was picking up like any momentum at all on Merab Dvalishvili, Dvalishvili just went ahead and went for the takedown at the end of the first round, and then just carried that over into the second and third round until he was able to get kind of got in that 69 position and kind of spun around out of it, and before you know it, he had Sean O'Malley in a north south choke, and he didn't. Sean O'Malley didn't last long in that. He didn't want to be put to sleep, so he submitted. And wow, like if I was to say anything about the main card that's like negative, it's just that the main event, you know, was kind of lackluster. Even though Merab Dvalishvili got the finish, it just wasn't a real competitive fight. And just really the whole main card really wasn't a competitive fight. And it would have been nice if that fight went into the fourth or the fifth round, and maybe Merab Dvalishvili stood with him a little bit more, or maybe just Sean O'Malley just maybe actually did something once he got on the ground and on his back later in that fight. That would have been nice, but the fact that there was no fight of the night award on this card kind of tells you that, man, especially the main card, there's just none of those fights were all that competitive. But still, pick wise and method wise, did probably about as good as I've done in the 2025 season. But anyways, that's UFC 316, Dvalishvili versus O'Malley 2. Let's just go over the bonus awards real quick, and we'll try to get up out of here. So we've mentioned it multiple times, about half a dozen times, that there was no fight of the night bonus awards. So, you know, stepping back and looking at this before maybe watching any of these fights yourself, or maybe even the whole card yourself, that tells you a lot about the card, that there's no bonus award for the fight of the night, because I guess there wasn't a fight that good, honestly, on the card. There was just some dominant performances. So you had some performances of the night. You had Merab Dvalishvili's submission, that's north-south choke. And then you had Kayla Harrison, the Kimura choke, or the Kimura arm lock. And then you did have a knockout by Yu Jung Sang, who fought Jaka Sarakia. And that was for a women's featherweight, KO punch, not TKO, KO punch. So like a one punch knockout at the women's featherweight at the 28-second mark of the first round. That's pretty impressive there. If anything, that was probably one of the most impressive moments, definitely on any of the prelims, and maybe two of the most impressive performances on the main card. Just single performances, not fights. Definitely just dominant performances by Kayla Harrison and Merab Dvalishvili. So that's UFC 316. It's see how long it will be until UFC 317. Let's see her, and it's a good one. So UFC 317 will be June 28th, so less than a month, 2025, and you got gotta love. There's the vacant lightweight championship bout is on the line for Ilia Tabora versus Charles Oliveira, and then even you got two belts on the line. One's I guess a vacant, but then you have for your co-main event Alexander Pantoja, champion, versus Kaya Kara France. So that's a good card just in regards to getting two of the probably end up being UFC Hall of Famers as your main event, and it's a title bout between Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira. So I'm ready for that, and there's even some fights mixed in for these fight nights that are even before UFC 317 that have great main events on them. You got Kamaru Usman and Joaquin Buckley as a main event on a fight night, and then you have Jamal Hill versus Khalil Rountree on one of these fight nights. So you got some entertainment and some watch value in between the pay-per-view. Might not do a show for it, but definitely be tuning in at least to those main events. But anyways, I think that's about all I have for you. So can I get a check, please?